Yesterday, UN investigators accuse Russia of potential war crime in Syria. New evidence exposes US-backed YPG's use of child soldiers. 37th session of the Human Rights Council annual report Eye on Extremism, March 7. Erdogan, Rouhani discuss Syria over phone. US-backed SDF recruits children. UN report, international coalition violated humanitarian law in Syria. The latest, UN chief urges Syria parties to begin ceasefire in the last 7 days. Russia may be guilty of war crime in Syria. UN investigators say US-led forces accused of breaking international law in Syria. Airstrike deaths top 800 as regime airstrikes pound Syria's battered Ghouta enclave. Civilians in Syria have often been deliberately targeted. UN probe, Russia responsible for November Idlib strike in Syria. UN, Russia and US airstrikes caused mass civilian deaths in Syria. UN panel links Russia to potential war crime in Syria. Mass civilians deaths from Russia and US airstrikes in Syria. UN probe, Russia behind deadly airstrike on Syrian market. US-led strikes killed 150 Syrians in March 2017. UN regime attacks in Syria may amount to war crimes. US and Russian airstrikes in Syria killed hundreds of civilians, says UN. UN blames US and Russia for war crimes in Syria. Russian attack on Syrian market may be war crime. UN, Russia may have committed war crimes in Syria market attack. Russia and US strikes in Syria wreaked mass civilian toll. UN says Eye on Extremism, March 6. Russian cargo plane crashes in Syria. 32 killed. Russia suspected of using dumb bombs to shift blame for Syria war crimes. UN investigators urge Russia, US to probe deadly Syria airstrikes. UN accuses Russia and US of mass civilian deaths in Syria. Russian, US airstrikes caused mass civilian deaths in Syria. UN says UN accuses Russia of possible war crimes in Syrian market bombing. Russia and US coalition killed Syrian civilians on large scale. UN finds UN probe, Russia behind deadly airstrike in Syria's Idlib. Russia and US airstrikes caused mass civilian deaths in Syria. UN Russia and US airstrikes caused mass civilian deaths in Syria. UN